What's up?
Hey there. Hey.
Good to
Sorry
see
about
you, man.
Thank you. You too.
It's been a minute. I think the last time I saw you, you were performing in Chicago. This must have been like when I first moved here 10 years ago, 11 years ago, something like that was the last time we saw each other and one hell of a performance, man, as always.
Thank you. Thank you.
Of course. Of
Remember where
course.
that one was? I want to remember.
Dude, I don't. I'm trying to think. God,
The
was
House
it
of
like
Blues or
yes,
yeah.
it was House of Blues because now I'm
Oh,
picturing where we said hi. It was like kind of off to the side, like in the front of the stage.
yeah, that was a good one. That
Yeah.
was-
Great times. Great times in Chicago. Well, hey, Mike Posner, thank you so much, sir. I know you're a busy man traveling around the world and doing your thing, spreading the joy. But we love you here in Chicago and at Kiss FM, of course, but we especially love like what you're involved in, man. Like this is super, super, super sweet and cool what you got going on this weekend. It's a huge benefit show. Talk about all about WeishFest and how you got involved and why you got involved.
My involvement with WishFest isn't that deep. They reached out and asked me to perform. It looked like an amazing cause, and I like to perform anyway, so it's like you don't gotta push me that hard. So here I am. We're supporting a cancer benefit and the families of um, people dealing with cancer, and so that's it, man. I'm gonna go just share the music, share the love.
Is there a different vibe in the room than like a Mike Posner concert when it's people that are paying money that it's going to a cause like that? Is there like a different feeling or a different energy?
We'll see. Often with this show, I'm not the only performer, so OAR is also performing. So, yeah, definitely when there are shows that many of the people may not know who I am, or some of them will, and some of them won't. So, I really enjoy being in those environments because you kind of get a fresh slate. But that's, yeah, definitely unique from when it's my own show and everyone's there just to see me. So I really like that. And I think more the spirit of your question though is the vibe different when people are gathered and the spirit of connecting around a good cause. And uh, um, I think that will be the case for sure. Why wouldn't
Yeah, I
I?
mean,
Yeah.
yeah, and Wish Fest has been going on for over a decade now, and they've raised over $3 million for, like you said, families that are dealing and battling with cancer, and their goal is to pay it forward, right? Has anybody ever paid it forward to you, Mike Posner?
Oh yeah, man. I mean, back through the generations, going my great grandparents, my grandparents, my mother is the main one. My mom, she sacrificed so much for me to have, just a better childhood than she did, and I've thankfully been able to make a really beautiful life out of that, where I'm able to serve and help others on their path of life. So. Yeah, my mom, big time, and but yeah, I mean, my uncle Harold, so many people made it possible.
What inspires you these days? Is it your family still?
Man, you can get inspiration from a flower petal. Inspiration is all around us all the time. So it's not really a question of changing the stimuli of what's coming in. For me, it's just changing the state I'm in. Because if I'm in a state of alpha or theta, I can receive inspiration from anything. It's all around me. If I'm in a state of high beta and I'm on the phone and I'm scrolling and emailing all this stuff, it's like you could have the sky open up and you'd miss the inspiration. So it's more about just for me changing the state I'm in to be in a state of receptivity.
Yeah. I mean, as somebody that's been vocal about the ups and downs of this crazy world we live in, and specifically you and I work in the music industry, um, is what's the biggest lesson that you learned, working through all this?
Life's really beautiful. It really is. Even the ugly parts are beautiful. And when you're going through hell, keep going. When I look back in my life, every major breakthrough I've had has been preceded by a pretty major breakdown. So when I have challenges now, and I still have many, I just have learned to ask a new question. You know, the questions we ask are really powerful. If you ask weak questions, you get a weak life.
Mm.
So when I face a challenge now, I learned to ask this question, which is, what am I supposed to learn from this? It doesn't make it easy. It doesn't make it not painful sometimes, but anytime I have a challenge, I'm committed to asking that question, hearing the answer, and then learning it. And in that way, I'm either enjoying life or I'm learning. You know, I'm either winning or I'm learning. So life is beautiful in the way it unfolds. You know, the same the same beauty that you see in a sunset or in the way that an oak tree grows or in the way that a cherry tree blossoms is at work in each of our lives. And sometimes we get upset because we don't grow in straight lines. You know, at least I can say it for myself. It's like I want to grow in a straight line, but you're not a automaton, or you're not a robot. You know, you're an oak tree. You grow up and down, and the branches wind like this, and this is all part of life's adventure. It's a pretty mysterious and beautiful ride. We showed up here and we don't even remember it. You know, it's like my life started before my memory, and then apparently I'm just gonna leave at some point, which is at an undisclosed time that's not revealed to me. I mean, it's just it's a wild ride. It's a wild, mysterious ride, and um, if I can remember that the games I'm playing are just games and not get too hung up on them,
Mhm.
it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
Dude, we share a very similar trait, and that is this glass that I'm holding right now. It is always half full, no matter what. Actually, with you, it's like me, it's overflowing with positivity. And I think that's important, right? It's important. Like I have this saying, this phrase that I say to people a lot is like, I just stop, like if somebody's like struggling or just worried about something, I'm just like, how good is it that we have water? I just say that. Like, how good is it? We just have water. You have water. Like, how good is water? And that makes them stop and be like, oh shit, right? Like this stupid little thing that I'm like annoyed about. It means nothing, in the grand scheme of things.
Water, we have electricity. I mean, we
It's
live.
wild.
Yeah.
It's wild. Yeah. And especially this week too. I feel like I've been talking to a lot of friends that are really stressed out over the world and the things happening. And I just the one thing I keep reminding people, and I think you can agree with this, is there's just so many good people in the world. And I'm sure you know that.
Woo! Yes, I learned that when I walked across the U.S.
I forgot about that. How
Yeah,
talk about that experience. How long did
that
that take?
took 6 months and 3 days. I started in Asbury Park, New Jersey. I walked um, 1,797 miles. Then I was bit by a poisonous rattlesnake.
That's
Then I
right.
spent 3 nights in the ICU and took a long time to heal up, but eventually went back to the spot that I got bit and kept going until I ran out of land and hit the Pacific Ocean. But I brought it up because I remember at some point, I think I was somewhere in Colorado, and this car pulls to the side of the road, and they just thrust a plastic bag into my hands filled with Gatorade and water and stuff. And the woman just goes, "I just saw you out here and got this for you. Bye." You know, she didn't know who I was. She didn't know I was Mike Posner. She didn't want a picture. She just nice. And that kind of thing happened every single day. And I remember after she thrust that bag into my hand and I wrapped my sweaty fingers around, the handles of the gas station bag, I remember having the thought, I wish anyone the least bit cynical about humans could do this project, because that kind of kindness was just ubiquitous. It was everywhere. And yeah, it's so easy because we focus, it's a metaphor for how we do life. We focus so hard on the very small percentage of human beings who have caused suffering, made these giant mistakes or done bad things, but the vast majority of human beings are like really trustworthy, fine humans. Um, and isn't that how we go through all of our lives? We have a negativity bias. You go through your life, it's like most of us walk through life staring at our problems. While that problem is just like a acorn, in an ocean of miracles. And if we could just widen our aperture, we'd see, like you alluded to, we have water, we have electricity, we're alive in the first place. How did I end up inside this bag of flesh and bones in the first place? It's wild. Eleanor Roosevelt, they asked her about reincarnation, and she goes, I don't think showing up in another life would be any stranger than showing up in this one. Anyways, brother, I'm rambling, but
No, good. I love it. I'm wondering how many books you put out so far.
how many books have I written?
Yeah,
It's funny you asked me that. I've written a book of poetry, and that's it. But I'm right now writing a book about my journey, my
that's
walk. And
great.
listen, writing the book has taken, now I'm already spent double the time writing the book that I did doing the walk.
Why? What is it? Why is it such a lengthy process?
Well, one, I've never done it before.
Hmm.
So I've never written a full length book. Two, when you're committed to telling the truth, which I am, sometimes it takes a while to unlayer that because you go, okay, if you're gonna write a book about walking across America, you have to explain why you're walking across America. I had all these talk tracks, things I'd said in interviews, sound bites. I wanted to become someone I was proud of, like because I wanted to. Yeah, I had all these answers to that question, but there's some other reasons that were a lot deeper when I started writing, and not all of them were pretty. And I was just committed to telling the truth. And so sometimes it takes a while to peel back these layers. And sometimes you'll be looking at this event that happened in the past and you realize that the way you interpreted it in the moment was completely wrong. And it was actually the thing you thought was happening was very different from what was actually happening. So it's a wild process. And also I'm committed to excellence, man. I'm not in, it's just kind of like me as an artist, as a human, not super interested in just writing a book. I'm interested in writing a great book, and that takes a lot of work, just like
Yeah.
albums. Sometimes I've spent 2 years on an album, so here I am coming in on 1 year on this book. So
That's gonna be a great read. I can't wait. What did you listen to on this walk? Was it complete nature, or was there other things you would turn on to motivate you?
well, that's a great question. Before I left, I created a project called Keep Going, and I created it as inspiration for myself. Almost like, they say break glass when necessary. I created an album to put on when I felt like quitting.
Mm.
And so that album is out, it's called Keep Going. And so I listened to that. Um, Now, when I made it to Colorado, 2 or 3 days before I was bit by a rattlesnake, I made it to this little town called La Junta. It's in eastern Colorado. And I found out there was a gentleman named Stevie, and he was running across America the opposite direction. So imagine you got these two smelly humans, and they're both on a journey of renewal and self-discovery, and they're intersecting in the middle of the US. So I crossed paths with Stevie, and he asked me the same question you just did. He said, what do you listen to? I said, very proudly, I said, Stevie, the first 8 miles I walk every day, I don't listen to anything. It's a walking meditation. And I started having my chest out and reading this. And I said, what about you? He said, I didn't bring headphones. I said, what? No, I didn't bring headphones. I just wanted to go into the process and not take myself out of it. I said, what's that been like? He goes, it was like hell for 2 months. But after that, I found a peace I never knew was there. I said, wow. 2 or 3 days later, I got bit by the snake. So then I go to the hospital. Eventually, I get sent back home. I'm healing. My leg swells to the size of an elephant trunk. I go from walking 24 miles a day to not being able to walk to the bathroom. Eventually, I got tired of sitting around in an air-conditioned house and all this stuff. People are all taking care of me. And this funny thing happened when I got hurt, I got more famous. And for someone like me who was kind of in recovery from fame addiction, it's like my whole life was as an artist was about becoming more relevant, more famous, and more seen. And I got bit by a snake, and everyone was paying attention to me. It was on the mainstream news. All my heroes are DMing me, and so it was really hard to realize that I had healed, and I was either gonna stay hurt or I was going to go back and finish what I started. So I had to figure out a way to make myself excited about going back. So just going back to walk more, it wasn't enough to really motivate me to get back on a plane, go back to the place where the snake bit me, which I was really scared of. I was having nightmares about snakes and all this stuff.
Yeah.
Um, and so what? I said, what if I go back? I have 1,000 more miles. What if I go back and I do them like Stevie and I don't listen to anything anymore? What if I try to find that peace he found? And so that started to get me excited. Because what I found was Brady, we can't, we need goals that excite us and scare us a little bit. We have there's a lot of talk in the culture now about mindfulness and presence, and it's all beautiful. We need the capacity to be here, be here now, enjoy this moment. But it's actually not enough. We need presence combined with a compelling or exciting vision of our own future. So for me, just going back and walking 1,000 more miles, it wasn't exciting because I had just walked almost 2,000 miles. I needed something that got me excited. I said, okay, what if I could try to do it with no music? Oh, that kind of scares me a little bit. So then I started to get excited. And I found that time after time on my walk, like one day I was supposed to walk 20 miles and I was like at mile 18 and I just was out of energy. And I started going down this thought pattern of, what if I just do 18 today? It's not gonna make a big difference if I just do 2 miles less, and who cares? But as I went down that thought pattern, I actually got more and more tired. And then I said, well, what if I use this feeling that I'm feeling right now of fatigue? And what if I use that as a reason to not do less, but to do more? What if I walk 24 miles today instead of the 20? Well, now, for some reason, instead of feeling tired, I start getting excited and I have
Wow.
all this energy. And so we as human beings, we need what I call a soul goal, not just a goal that's good or that would be nice if I got it, or people would be proud of me, or I'd be pretty. No, we need a goal that goes, man, if I got that, that would be freaking cool. Something that gets us out of bed in the morning, and something, frankly, that we're not sure if we can do. That's the
Mm.
ingredient, the risk of failure. So, and if anyone thinks I'm full of BS, just read Viktor Frankl, Man's Search for Meaning. For some people, having this exciting, beautiful vision of their own future saves their lives. So we
Mm.
all know this, to combine the presence with the exciting, beautiful vision of the future. You combine those two and you have a fulfilled life. You have a juicy, passionate life.
I am not driving home tonight. I am walking home this evening. I'm going to not get bit by a snake. I will not, but that's terrifying. I'm glad everything's
No
well.
snakes in Chicago,
No
just
snakes in
high
Chicago.
winds.
Just a little bit. On that note, what is your is there something you love about Chicago? You've been here a bunch of times, right?
Oh yeah, man. Well, I'm from Detroit, so we as Detroiters really feel a kinship towards you guys. It goes both ways. I think maybe you look at Detroit as sort of like a younger sibling, whereas we would look at you as equals. But I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that's quite um, returned. But I think there's a kinship there. And I meet somebody from Chicago. I kind of like get them. Kind
Yeah,
of.
I
And I
got
think
you.
the saying goes, Chicago
Yeah,
and to Detroit, they kind of,
100%.
yeah, man, I kind of understand you on some level. Not
Yeah.
that, not everything about you, but I understand one part of you, at least.
Yeah.
I really love Chicago. I have actually, growing up in Detroit, a lot of people, if they don't want to go all the way to New York or LA, a lot of them go to Chicago. So I have a lot of friends coming to the show, family, and
Great.
I just got a lot of love for the Shy, for sure. And
Yeah.
all the artists from the Shy really touched me. Kanye's been indirectly a big part of my
Mhm.
musical journey, and so all love.
Good, good, good. All right. So for people that are watching, if you can still get tickets, it's wishfest.com and Mike Posner, OAR, just two of the amazing artists that are performing that night. It's a great cause. There's going to be all the things, food and drinks and stuff like that. But the entertainment's wild. So, dude, have an unbelievable show and a great experience while you're here. Keep smelling the roses, my friend. You're very
Thank you.
inspirational. You're
Thank
very
you. And for
inspirational.
anyone that comes, my part of the show is going to be really exciting. It's going to be the way I do shows now. When I was younger, my shows were all about me, like the audience giving me, making me feel good. You know what I mean? It was kind of manipulating my fans to my concert. This it's gonna be a journey, one that if someone engages in fully, you'll connect with these things we're talking about. You'll connect with what matters to you in life. You'll connect with um, something you need to let go of. You'll connect with what's exciting you in your future, and open up a vision of yourself, having it, doing it. And so it's more than just the music. It's gonna be a beautiful night, and would love to meet some of your listeners there, man.
Love it. We're gonna kill it this weekend. I love it, man. Have a great time. And Salt Shed is such a dope venue. You're gonna love it as soon as you walk in. So, Mike Posner, everybody.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you.